da pawb. I think it is, yeah, just about still bore da before we go on to Prynhawn da. I think it's about time we did a bit more crafting, isn't it? You know me and my crafting. And we made those lovely rainbows for our windows to show people that we are thinking of them. So I thought, why not make some lovely bright flowers? And that's all we need for this are strips of paper, or if you haven't got coloured paper, you could colour strips of paper, and that's all they're made out of, are strips of paper and just a bigger piece of paper or card, whatever you've got in the house. So these are my, well, I started off with a sunflower, but obviously sunflower's not red. I have no idea whether there are flowers that look like this, but there are in my world, because they're not quite poppies. So let me show you. So here we are. I've got a piece of paper here, a big piece of card, and then I've cut these strips. Now I think these ones might be, let's get my ruler out, and remember when we measure we've got to make sure we're starting right on the end of the ruler. Yeah, these are 2 centimeters, my yellow ones are 2 centimeters, and my red ones are 1 centimeter. My stalk is also 1 centimeter, and I've got one long piece that I'm going to cut in the middle. Then I just roughly drew some leaves. Mrs. Richards isn't a great artist yet. That's what I would say to you when you say, Miss Richards, I can't do it. I say yet. The power of yet, you will. So I've got some leaves. Then I found 2 round things, which are slightly different sizes, to make the centre of my flowers. Now circles are particularly tricky to cut out, but they aren't going to be perfect. So our first job, I've got lots of these. I think actually I've got too many than I need. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold them over because I want them to be perfectly in half. And how many halves do we get out of a whole? I'm hoping my class right now is shouting, we get 2 halves out of a whole. I'm going to put those, that might be enough. I move this one out the side in case I get glue all over it, because that's the sort of thing I do. And I'm going to turn my flower over, and I'm going to start putting glue in the centre. Now then, if you haven't got glue, you could use some double-sided tape if you've got some of that. I think you're probably more likely to have glue. There we go. And what I'm going to do then, I'm going to make a cross first, like a plus sign, just in the centre. Oh, hang on. Oh, Mrs. Richards, you big drip. I need some there as well, don't I? Like that. Now remember, if you are doing this and you're going to do it at your mammy or daddy's best table, put something underneath you, because Mrs. Richards doesn't want the bill for all the ruined tables when we go back to school. Okay, so I'm just splodging some glue on now. That's a little bit of a technical term. And then I'm just going to lay this one like that, as if really I suppose it would be about 11 o'clock on the clock. Then this one would be about 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. See, we're even bringing a little bit of maths into it. Numeracy across the curriculum, that's called. Mr. Griffiths, I've done it. So there we go. I'm just going to bring this one in here now. So it's 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Like that. And I'm going to put another little blob of glue there and put that one across there. Now I realise that when I cut them, I've curled the edges, so I'm going to do a bit of gardening. I'm going to do some pruning then. So there's my one flower. I'm just going to cut those a little bit neater, because I can't have them looking untidy in my window. There we go. And then when all these people walk past, they'll think, Mr. Richard has been really busy. So now I'm going to do my red ones. Now my red ones were not as long as my yellow ones because I didn't have an off-cutter card that size. But once again, I'm going to fold them over. And how many halves do we get out of a whole? We get 2. So out of one long strip of card, when we fold it over, we're going to have 2 shorter pieces. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So we're going to put it on the back. My card has got a bit of a texture on, you see. That's why I'm turning mine over. But if your card is exactly the same both sides. If it's smooth both sides, doesn't matter which way around you do it. So there's my one piece. So once again, I'm going to make a cross or a plus sign, and then I'm going to do my clock going round, aren't I? Oh, I hope you've all been getting out in the fresh air in your gardens every day. It is really important to get out in that fresh air. There we go. Then we're going to start putting our little petals on then. I can't wait for the day we'll be doing it back together again, because Mrs. Richards is getting a little bit fed up of the sound of her own voice. Mr. Richards is probably very fed up of the sound of my voice right now. I've just realised I'm going to have pieces. Disaster. So I can see another little bit on the side. Now Mrs. Richards is covered in glue, which is pretty much what happens in school as well, isn't it? Mrs. Davis is far tidier than me, and Mrs. Langdon. So I'm just going to cut this little piece a bit thinner, in case. Now I'm not very good at cutting a straight line, but actually that isn't bad for me at all. So I only need one of these pieces, so I've got half left over. I'm just going to put this one across here now, if my glue wants to come out, and I'm going to put my flowers on the side to dry. Okay, there we go. There are my flowers ready. Now I've got, well, apart from having glue all over my fingers, which I'm currently trying to scrape off, I've got a thicker piece of green and a thinner piece of green. And my thin piece I'm going to cut, and is not going to be exactly in half because they're not going to be the same length. My yellow flower is going to be a little bit longer, so I'm going to cut those ready. Now yng Nghymraeg, dyma'r blodyn. Blodau, because there's more than one. Blodyn is one, blodau is two. Dyma, here is. Now this piece is going to be our grass, and I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm not going to cut to the end. I'm going to cut down a little piece to cut a fringe. That is the crafty term. There we go. Just watch your fingers because scissors are sharp. And when I see you again, I want you still to have 10 fingers attached to your hands. And remember, if you are going to do this on the table, make sure Mammy knows as well, mind. Then make sure you've got something underneath it, because I'm going to tell you a secret now, and if my Mammy watches this video, she's going to say, yep, she certainly did. When I was a little girl, I scratched my Mammy and Daddy's best table, and I think my Mammy and Daddy got rid of that table when I was in my 20s, and you know, they pretty much reminded me each time I went up there how I scratched it, so you don't want that. And my Mammy's probably laughing right now and saying, yeah, we did. There we are. So there's my grass now, and I am going to tack this stem under here. I'm going to have blodyn melyn ar y chwith, or the, I can't remember my left and my right in Welsh now. One of them's chwith, one of them's, chwith is left, I think. I'm going to have to check that now, and I'll have to come back to. Well, Mrs. Richards, you big drip. I'm having a daft day today. So there we go. Here's my stem of my flower. And the stem holds the flower head nice and straight, so we can see the sun. And so all the insects, then the pollinators, can come and get the nectar from it, the pollen from it, to make their honey and things like that. And then they pollinate the flowers for us. And then this one is a little bit shorter. I'm going to pop that one here. So in this time off, I hope you are getting out in your garden. Have you noticed that there are any bumblebees out there? Or it might be a bit early for butterflies yet because it's quite cold still. There we are. I've seen lots and lots of daffodils when I've been going on my walk. I've been going out every day for my exercise. There we go. Now then, my petals, I've got 2 slightly bigger ones, 2 slightly smaller ones, and I'm just going to fold them in the middle, just so they stand off the page a little bit more. There we go. I'm pretty sure chwith is left. I'm still thinking of it. Mr. Griffiths is probably going, Mrs. Richards, you've let me down. So, here we go. And then, just going to stick those down. And I thought it would be really nice that we could put a message up here. Because if you're going to put this in your window, you want people to walk past and see them and think, oh, that's a lovely message. It could be a postman who's coming past, or it could be a delivery person, or it could be somebody out on their exercise for the day. So I was thinking we could say, stay safe. Or you could say, because remember now, the people in the hospitals, we call those the NHS because they work for our National Health Service. You could say, thank you NHS, because tonight I hope you're all going back out again at 8 o'clock to clap for them. So I'm going to get my pen, if I can see where I put it. Here it is. And I'm going to write stay. What sound do I need first? Stay safe. It's got that magic key on the end. And you could do a hashtag sign, because that is one that's on Twitter at the moment. So here is a lovely little flower garden picture for you to put in your window. Now look, I could tie mine both together, couldn't I? And have a bigger window, a bigger picture. But I might need a bigger window. And that just says, stay safe, to let people know that you are thinking of them, because that's how kind you are. And I'm thinking of you, and I can't wait to see you soon. Big kisses, and Hwyl Fawr. Shall we do our Hwyl Fawr song, especially for Joseph? Barod. Hwyl Fawr ffrindiau, Hwyl Fawr ffrindiau, Hwyl Fawr ffrindiau, mae'n amser dweud Hwyl Fawr. Twralwra banter ni, banter ni, banter ni, twralwra banter ni, mae'n amser dweud Hwyl Fawr. Welwch chi, see you soon, Hwyl Fawr.